I love being from Jamaica. There's this whole world of creativity that exists that I can claim.
Yes.
Because it's located from and infused by the history and the creativity of the people that my parents, belong to.
Hi, I'm Chantal Miller, proud Navision and Jamaican, and your host for the Island Girls Rock podcast. This is a series of conversations featuring women of the Caribbean and its diaspora. Equal parts fun, informative, thought-provoking, inspiring, and always engaging. Welcome to our tribe. On this episode of the Island Girls Rock podcast, we were graced with the presence of Lisa Anderson. Lisa is the founder of Black British Art, which is a platform which does what it says on the can. It promotes Black British art, and be that through curation of exhibitions, and Lisa spoke about some of the projects that she's working on, and also educating the community on investing in art and the importance of doing so, the importance of creating legacy. Really enjoyed this conversation, especially when Lisa spoke about the spiritual experience which she had at the Calabash Literary Festival in Jamaica and discovering the Jamaican National Art Gallery. So tune in and listen up. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Chantal.
How are you?
I'm very well. Yeah, really, really pleased to be here.
I'm very, very happy. I'm happy that you're here because I know we attempted this before.
Yes, we did.
Last year when we were kind of doing just a few pilot runs of the podcast and,
Lots
technology.
has happened since then.
Exactly. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
The universe has its way of, what do they call it? Divine timing?
That's right.
All right. So welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Island Girls Rock podcast.
Yay!
What island are you repping, Lisa?
Jamaica. Oh my gosh, it always comes out for me.
I know.
Do you know what? Can I tell you a quick story?
Tell me a quick
So,
story.
We're going to talk about all my dimensions,
course.
okay? But earlier this week, I was working at an event that Tim Campbell, the lovely Tim Campbell,
Yes. Is he still cute?
was speaking
Sorry.
at. He's amazing.
Okay.
He gave a phenomenal speech in front of an audience of CEOs within the financial sector.
Okay.
And he was just really relatable and comfortable, and he blew them away. Anyway,
Yes.
he shouted out, "Any Jamaicans in the house?"
Oh, God. Did
and
you?
I was the only Jamaican in the house, and I couldn't leave him hanging. So I was like, "Yeah, yeah." So
Oh,
he came
Lord.
up to me and asked, yeah,
You did all that.
appreciated that I didn't leave him hanging. Yeah,
Oh, well
proud
done.
Jamaican.
Well done for representing. It's no scene. I'm Trini now. Goodness. Okay. Where did that come from? Right, Lisa. So something that I always ask our guests, who are you?
This is an interesting question because I've been thinking about this a lot. I am the daughter of two amazing Jamaicans.
Yes.
First generation Black British. I am a proud Black British woman. And I am a lover of arts and culture. I'm also an advocate for progressive social change, for equality. I'm a human rights advocate.
Yes, you are.
And I'm a supporter of people. I like to see people thrive.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sound
That's
pretty
me.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad I know
Slowly
you.
starting to claim that, yes.
All right. So when you say you're Black British,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Ooh, okay. That means that I am the descendant of African slaves transported to the Caribbean and then who immigrated, their descendants immigrated to this great nation, Britain. And I have negotiated the society to find my place within it. So, the question of my blackness and what that means is a political one. And it's something that I have struggled with.
Right.
What it means to be Black is a political statement, really.
Okay.
But it describes my relationship with the African diaspora and points to my heritage and my culture and my values.
And how has this definition of who you are filtered in to your work?
It's just been an undeniable, unavoidable nexus of ideas, history, creativity. Yes, it's informed my worldview and what I want to have impact on in the world. So I ended up studying international relations, and I feel that I studied that from a Black British perspective.
Okay.
I've always been interested in my place in the world, how different communities relate to each other, how communities came into being, not only at a kind of community level, but also internationally. So when I transported myself to Aberystwyth University at the end of the line of Wales.
Oh my goodness, why? Why that particular university? Tell me.
I messed up my A-levels and I couldn't get into LSE.
What happened?
Let's not go into that. Yes. That's a diversion. Yes, I was headed to LSE and then, anyway, I didn't get the grades.
Okay.
And had to go through clearing, and I wanted to go to the best international politics department, and Aberystwyth was second to none.
Okay.
It just happens to be back and beyond at the end of the line of that line from Euston, from Birmingham to Wales. When I transported myself there to look at international relations as the only Black girl in my course, you cannot avoid, questions of identity and belonging, and examining that through critical theory really had me starting to understand what it is to be Black British, and the legacy of theorists such as Stuart Hall that had already started that investigation. My dissertation for my international relations degree was about the legitimation crisis. It's a theory informed by Jürgen Habermas about how we question the legitimacy of our administration. And I did that in relation to the Macpherson report.
Right.
And how it, I was questioning the legitimacy of how, something like Stephen Lawrence's murder and the atrocious way in which the investigation was carried out could happen in this day and age. But this is at the 90s was such a celebration of multiculturalism, and I feel that there was so much celebration happening, and yet there was this death. So the Macpherson report came about due to the outcry at the lack of arrests following Stephen Lawrence's murder, the really disgusting way in which the investigation was carried out, and the injustice of it all. Looking at how things are today, we can see that there's a lot left to be done, and we're not necessarily in a better place. After 9/11, I feel like the positivity of multiculturalism was really undermined through all this conversation about the negativity of, segregated communities, and it's us and them, and, the Islamophobia that followed from that. And I think there was a bit of a retrenchment of all the positivity that had built up. And my personal level of comfort about being Black and British was eroded. You start to see less Black British creativity on TV. And things slowly change.
So this is all while you're at university, or maybe just after? What was the time frame? Okay.
Yeah, but I'm saying my Black British identity has definitely has been at the core of what I want to see happen in the world.
Okay. Right.
It informed my kind of intellectual, my academic inclinations with my dissertation. I then went on to study human rights at Essex University.
Essex University.
Yeah, and I wanted to look at, and I wasn't successful in this. I wanted to look at how cultural capital, so our books, our art, our performance, our cultural expression can be used as a resource for human rights.
Okay.
Activism, how it can have us have those conversations, how it can empower communities using art.
Okay, so artivism.
As cultural capital. Yes.
Right.
I couldn't find the the guidance. There were
And when
no
was
faculty
this,
members.
Lisa?
This is 2000.
Okay.
To guide me in that academic pursuit. I was coming from a Black British perspective.
Okay.
Ended up doing something a bit more international. So that's always been there. And then I kind of turned away from that pursuit.
So you turned away from the more creative, artistic,
intellectual,
bent of
academic
it,
thing,
right?
and ended up doing a whole load of work with the voluntary sector around social justice.
Yes.
I was actually around for the opening of the GLA.
Okay.
And I worked with Lee Jasper and under Red Ken.
Okay.
It was a heady time.
But I'm sensing a but.
Yeah. I couldn't see a way to continue my passion for political, social progress as it related to Black British communities. Maybe I just wasn't confident enough.
Okay.
And I ended up veering away from it.
Right.
That's in my 9 to 5, but in my outside of my work, I was supporting the development of the Black British Archives, Black Cultural Archives, rather. My good friend Jacine is the niece of the founder, Len Garrison.
Right.
And all my friends are involved in some kind of cultural perspective, cultural activity, creative activity, whether they be dancers, writers, filmmakers, etc., from a Black British perspective.
Right.
And also from kind of African diaspora, international perspective. So it's always been there.
So you were living that kind of life of duality.
Definitely.
The 9 to 5 to pay the bills, and then your purpose and your passion kind of on the side. All right.
Yeah. So it's so interesting now, just telling you that things are just coming into place.
So explain
Yes,
what things and how so, and tell me what you're doing now.
Yeah.
What is your platform?
I built up a career 9 to 5 in fundraising.
Yes.
After the work with the GLA, I ended up working in the voluntary sector. And after that little stint, I was working on an African women's rights organisation. After that, whilst I was doing that, I was, like I said, supporting the Black Cultural Archives, and I met an amazing man who was setting up some financial institutions. He had worked for one of the major ones. He was a director, very senior. He said, would you like to help me set these things up, these businesses up? And I said, yeah, I'll go for it. So I had a whirlwind experience of how to develop business, successful business in the city. And then it came to an end when venture capitalists chose to fund it, and that was at the end of my journey. But I had been shown these resources in the city, how much money was available. And at that point, I was at a crossroads. Did I want to pursue working in the city, or did I want to go with my heart and see if I could combine my understanding for social justice with my understanding of how to negotiate the business world. Right.
So
then I went into fundraising.
Were you at a crossroads, or what was happening there, Lisa? Like, what were your choices? What decisions did you have to make at that point, or do you feel you had to make at that point?
Well, this is when I was in my mid to late 20s.
Right.
I definitely did feel kind of lost. What am I trying to do? And I just, I've been a bit of a hippie when it comes to my career, if I'm really honest.
Aren't we all? Okay, no, we're not.
No, we're not.
We're not. No, we're not.
I've never chased money.
Right.
I've never chased status. I've always wanted to do things that I felt were going to make a difference or be interesting or stimulating, what would develop me. At that crossroads, at the end of that whirlwind experience of being forced into that business culture and having to step up my professionalism and work with some brilliant minds, I was thinking, wow, it was challenging as much as it was edifying. Do I want to pursue that further, or do I want to go back to social justice?
Okay.
And see if I can use the skills that I've acquired and the insight that I've acquired to add value. Okay. So that's when I got into fundraising. Okay. Right? And as much as I have raised millions of pounds for some amazing causes, it wasn't feeding my passion for culture. Okay. And arts and having an impact on society through that. And 3 years ago, I did this amazing course called the Landmark Forum, and I realised that I'd made a decision when I was just after I finished university that I couldn't be successful in pursuing my academic interests.
Okay.
Because they were so niche.
Right.
I know.
Okay.
That it wasn't going to lead to anything sustainable career-wise.
All right.
And so I decided, I could see that was a decision I'd made, and it wasn't an authentic decision.
It didn't feel right for you.
It's not right, and it's not true.
Okay.
So we do these things in life, right?
We do.
We make decisions, then our life takes a different route. The space that created when I forgave myself for making that choice and denying the impulses that I've always had. You forgave yourself. Yeah.
Okay. This is good.
The idea of looking into and really immersing myself in the creative and cultural output of Black Britain just arose.
Okay.
I'd always been interested in the visual and performative creative output of Black Britain. I remember at university I had a picture of No Woman No Cry, Chris Savili's famous piece from 1998 that had him win the Turner Prize on my wall. I had Sonia Boyce's work, postcards on my wall, surrounding myself with these images to have me survive
how I feel about Sonia's
university.
Work. Yes.
So I had done lots of different blogs, artistic blogs, over the whilst I was working in fundraising. But I looked up Black British art as a domain name, and it was free and available. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to take on this curatorial inquiry and find out what work is emerging.
How much so did your Jamaican heritage kind of inform your artistic outlook and appreciation?
I love being from Jamaica. Thankfully, I was lucky enough to visit Jamaica throughout my childhood. I remember these, when you are in primary school and you get to write and present these projects of your summer holidays.
Yes.
I remember I still have this book about my trip to Jamaica with the pictures from my grandmother's amazing garden and the food we ate and how we bathed and all the cousins that I met. I was extremely proud and inspired and kind of just mesmerized by this other place that my parents called home, that informed the food we ate and how their voices how they sounded, the words they used, the phrases. And as a Jamaican, my imagination, and as a Jamaica, the reality. And both have inspired and informed the way I present myself and the way I identify, myself. As regards to visual arts, when I, in 2006, I took a really memorable trip to Jamaica with my friend Kelly, and we went to Calabash.
Oh, yes.
And that
Calabash.
Just blew
let's
mind.
break down what Calabash is, right?
Yeah, you tell you.
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
You can say what Calabash is.
Oh, man. Calabash is one of the most amazing literary festivals, not just in the Caribbean, but on a global scale.
Yeah.
It brings together writers, authors, poets, anyone who is connected to the written word and expressing themselves through the written word.
Yeah.
Is there at Calabash doing workshops, amazing readings. You're walking around with some of your favorite authors of Caribbean heritage, as well as throughout the diaspora.
Yeah.
It's a coming together of literacy, creativity, music, because there is music as well. And it's all on a beach, Treasure Island.
So gorgeous.
It's, otherworldly.
So I come to this festival and I just feel at home and so nourished by, because it brings together all creatives.
It does.
You have musicians sat next to poets, sat next to filmmakers and musicians and visual artists. And it was like a spiritual experience.
And mine too. My first visit to Calabash.
Oh.
It was. Definitely.
There's this whole world of creativity that exists that I have, I can claim.
Yes.
In part, because it's located from and infused by the history and the creativity of, the people that my parents belong to.
Very much a spiritual experience.
Yeah. And so I went to Calabash, that blew me away. And then I visited the National Gallery of Jamaica for the very first time. And it was almost by mistake.
Wow.
I just happened to be in downtown and we just looked up and saw my cousins were just taking me around Kingston. And I walked in and I had an out-of-body experience because I was like, I did not know that I had this heritage of world-class art that reflected me and my people in a way I'd never seen before.
Okay. And what was that? What way?
Well, just in the same way that you see in the National Gallery.
Yeah, exactly. Contemporary art.
Yeah, modern art, beautiful sculpture, amazing painting. Never forget seeing Barrington Watson's work. It's my favourite piece. Those three beautiful women just reminded me of my grandmother and the country. And it was a realization that there is more.
Indeed.
To what I had been exposed to. So I don't come from a household where we went to art galleries and museums. Mm-hmm. I just had a natural, inherent yearning for that. It's always been there.
Okay.
And so whenever I encountered it, it was always magical for me because I would lose myself in those images and imagine what is happening here. What does it mean? How do these people feel? It would be transportive for me.
Okay. So you come back from this trip to Jamaica.
Right. And I'm thinking, there's a whole world of creativity out there and I need to know more. And it does set me on a path to researching that more.
Okay.
And also what's around me. A few years later, I went to New York and had a similar experience when I went to the Studio Museum of Harlem. And saw all this amazing work being produced by now people of my own age. And I remember learning about Thelma Golden and her series of exhibitions that she had done. Yes. And I was also staying with other artists.
And can we just mention that her heritage is also
Barbados.
Caribbean?
Yes, of course.
She's an island girl. She's amazing.
And a proud New Yorker.
A Harlemite as well.
Very much so, very much so. So there's been these pinpoints in time, the Jamaica trip, New York, and then I can't remember when I first discovered about the Black Art movement of the 1980s in Black Britain.
Right.
I think it was around early 2000s. And so I guess those are the influences, very international, very diasporic, that informs what I think is important, work that's important for how we see ourselves and know ourselves, but also how we can empower our communities given the inequalities that persist.
Of course. So what did you do, Lisa?
Anyway,
that's what we want to know. Come on.
Yeah, so
what
in
did
2015, we've gone around the houses, sorry. 2015, I launched blackbritishart.com.
So
I bought it for £10.
£10?
Yeah.
Wow, just like that.
Yeah,
I can't even believe it was still available, that no one else had secured that domain name.
It's interesting because, and since then, there's just been a huge, just a blossoming of attention on the question of Black British art and what it is.
Right.
Because it's not one thing.
Okay.
But it's a place to look from. That's what I like to say. Because I am very sensitive to the implications of labelling and naming something as Black British art doesn't give it space to breathe and be whatever it wants to be.
Right.
But I use it as a place to examine what is being produced.
Okay.
Not what that thing is.
Okay. Right.
Because I think my interest in art is as much as what's being represented, like what is on the canvas or what is in the picture, as much as who is producing it and why they're producing it and what they're trying to say and what they're trying to communicate, their positioning.
Yeah.
And if to get access to that, you need to have a label of sorts or a tag of sorts to be able to see that breadth of and diversity of creativity.
Okay.
Without that, I'm reduced to having to guess from artist names, whether they're black or not. This is what I was doing to find out which artists are black or whether they're Jamaican. Like going online, seeing exhibitions, looking at the names and going, that sounds like a black person. Let me look into that. Let me see if I can find a picture. Okay. You know, I'm interested in the creative output of black people, and I'm unashamed in that, and particularly black British people.
All right,
and it's not documented enough.
So, what do you feel the purpose of your platform is? If I, for instance, like, you know, say I just landed in London, and I want to find out where are all the exhibitions by black artists? You know, where can I find that information? Would I then go to Black British art? What would I do?
In time, I hope it will do that. In time, I hope it will be a document of great work and critical perspectives on work produced from the African diaspora in the UK. That's what I hope the platform will be. And through that, you'll be able to see the kind of galleries that are showing these artists, kind of shows that have been produced, and who these artists are, and different perspectives on their practice. I just want there to be a document and a legacy for what's being produced, and for it to be included in the wider conversation about contemporary art in the world.
You use the word legacy.
Yes, Lisa, because listen, it's about education.
Tell us, because as a community, just from my perspective, obviously I'm not a curator. Well, I don't see myself as such. I look to you guys. I look to you. Legacy and art.
Yeah.
And the legacy of the Caribbean experience through art and through creativity. How do I, as a consumer, ensure that I am investing in legacy through that? You know, how do we get guidance on that? How do we know? You know, I mean, I know what I like.
That is why I'm developing this platform. Yeah. It is to empower and inform consumers who have an interest in this work, who have an interest in great art,
right?
But specifically those who have an interest in Black British art or in African diaspora work. We need to invest in it.
Tell us how.
We need to support. Well,
I don't know how.
I
know what I like. Like, I'll see something and I'll say, oh.
You need to take an active interest. You know, how do you support anything? You take an active interest in it. You educate yourself about it. You attend events. You buy the books. You buy the art.
Right.
And you talk about it.
Right.
So I see my role as a curator as bringing attention to important work, different artistic practices, connecting audiences with this work. 20 years down the line, what would I have hoped to achieve? You know, a generation that is informed.
Beautiful.
And feels, I know, I can name 10 artists from the UK who've done amazing work, who just don't happen to be white, who happen to have heritage from the African diaspora.
Right.
Whether that's directly from a nation within Africa or, you know, one of the Caribbean islands. And I want those people to be from everywhere, not just Black people. Anybody.
Who has that interest.
Right. Exactly. Not everybody loves art. I know that. But if you love art, I would love for you to be aware of the amazing quality of work being produced from the African diaspora in the UK. And last year was an unprecedented year for that.
Yes, it was.
Huge.
Right.
Huge. You know, so many important things.
Give us some names of some exhibitions that you attended last year that you feel really impacted on the story of last summer.
Well, it's not even summer. It's just like
the whole year.
So the year started with a great show at the New Art Exchange in Nottingham called Untitled, which featured a number of emerging artists from the African diaspora in the UK, such as Larry Achiampong, Junior Boachi Yedom, Beverly Bennett, Barbara Walker.
Yes.
Go on and on.
Okay.
So we had that.
Should we be taking notes?
You should be taking notes.
I feel like we should be taking notes on these names of these artists.
You should be taking notes of these artists. But I want to name somebody who, you know, I've dropped already, but who's been in the game for a long time, and she's not emerging. No. She's just phenomenal. Barbara Walker.
Yes. So So tell us about Barbara, because I love her.
Well, I don't know Barbara's heritage that well, so I won't go into it, but I'm just going to point you towards her.
I want to feel, I'm sorry if this is incorrect, but I feel like there's some Bayesian in there. But I'm going to step back from that.
Do you know what? I just want people to experience discovering these artists for themselves.
I can love art for all it's worth. Yes. But Lisa, seriously, you know, I want to create that legacy.
You know what?
But how do we do that?
Well, like you need to. Well, it depends. If you want to. Now, investing is a serious business. Art investing is a serious business. For some people, do it for the fact that you can make money. It is a very powerful way to invest in cultural capital, but it's also a very powerful way to develop your own wealth. Some of the wealthiest people have collections of art. So you can choose work strategically for, you know, what's been written about it, who else has collected it, and, you know, the sense of it definitely growing in value over time. Or you can approach it to invest in art for, you know, its personal resonance to you and your connection to the work or the artist. You can approach it either way. And I suggest for anybody who is passionate about art to invest in art that you love.
Right. Okay.
You can buy art for any budget.
Okay. Right.
You know, you can buy prints, which are much more affordable. Good quality prints, I'd say up to £100. You know, most people can afford that.
Right.
And it definitely goes up from there. But if you want to invest in, say, a good painting from an artist you really love, an original piece of work, you're looking at least for an emerging artist, the low hundreds. And then it goes
crazy. Right. All right, then.
Yeah.
So for me, Lisa...
And you can also come to me for that advice as well.
Yes, exactly. That's what I needed to know. Where do we go? Because this is the thing. I feel that there's an aspect of the art world where, as a Caribbean community, we are not as informed of.
Yes.
And so for me, it's about finding that platform, which I feel is Black British art.
Yeah. And then I have
that person, and a person who can say to you, well, Shani, I know you love this piece, but in terms of, you know, the artist's body of work and so forth, perhaps this is not what you should be investing. You know, maybe I won the lotto. Who knows?
Yeah.
Things can happen.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe this is not who you should be investing in at that time.
Yeah.
So, you know, can we look to you in terms of your consultancy side of your work for that?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Clear answer.
Can.
Yes, we can.
Come to me for advice.
For me, I think, you know, at the core of it, Lisa, you know I love what you're doing and where it's going and how it's growing.
Yeah.
What do you see your purpose as being?
Oh, boy, you're going to drop it with that question?
And then we can let everyone know where they can find you and keep up with, you know, the growth of your projects.
I see my mission as is a global one, you know, outside of my passion for blackness.
Right.
Let's put it out there. Yes. I love being black.
Unapologetically black.
And my perspective on Black Britishness. I want us to know each other as a community. People to know each other as part of a community. Us to relate to each other more powerfully. Us to be more connected. That is my purpose. You know, I have aspirations to study more about this focus that I have. You know, I want to do a PhD.
Yes.
You know, I want to develop this advisory. You know, I want to develop Black British art.
Yes.
That's where I see myself going. So it's planted in this world. That's it.
I quite like that.
Yeah.
And we're rooting for you, as I said.
Thank you.
All right. So where can we find you? Where can we find you? On Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, website?
It's at Black British Art for Twitter and Instagram. That's for the posting on Black British art issues. And for me and my broader curatorial interest, and you know, like I grew up dancing, I love performance.
It's funny how you're just, again, talking about your dancing.
I've done a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's different strings to my bow. For all those interests, you can come to at Lisa Anderson AA.
All right. And are there
Instagram.
any Are there any projects that you're working on that you can just give us a little exclusive? What's happening?
Yeah, so, wow. I am working with an artist called Marcia Michaels.
Marcia Michaels?
Yeah.
That sounds like...
Yeah, okay. How did I not mention her?
Hello.
My goodness.
Like what?
Yeah, I'm working with her.
What's her heritage? You know,
Jamaican, man. Sorry.
We just
not
didn't want to say it.
Her work is phenomenal. Check it out, guys. Really
Marcia
beautiful.
Michaels.
Marcia Michaels, I'm working with her.
Okay.
So we're hoping to produce a show.
And for when?
Listen, man, just wait.
Soon come?
Yes, soon come. Soon come, within the year.
Within the year.
Yeah,
okay,
within
Lisa.
A year from now.
Well, I am looking forward to that. Most definitely.
And also some stuff with the Black British Film Artists Collective.
Yes.
And then maybe a couple other artists.
Okay, so we
I'm just keeping on the low for now.
We really have to kind of keep track of you.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you for coming in and spending this time with us.
Yeah.
It's been amazing, which I pretty much expected. And good luck with everything. We're here for you.
Thank
the
you.
IGR crew is here for
and
you.
I'm so here for you. Whether I'm on the team or not, I am an Island Girls team member.
We know this.
Extended family.
Listen, we have a huge extended family.
Very proud.
Thank you, girl.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for listening to the Island Girls Rock podcast. If you like what you hear, and we really hope you do, please subscribe, rate, or even comment. We'd really love to hear from you. You can catch every episode of Island Girls Rock podcast on Acast, Apple, Castbox, or your favorite podcast app. You can connect with us on Twitter and Instagram using IGR_love or with hashtag Island Girls Rock Pod. You can also visit islandgirlsrock.com to find out more about who we are and what we do. This podcast was produced by Unedited for the Unedited Stories Network. See you again soon.